La propera presentació és a càrrec del senyor Christopher. El títol de la presentació és Com generar i fer servir dades dels clients d'alta qualitat en destinacions turístiques.
Sounds great.
Thank you, Christopher.
Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry? Okay. Now the microphone is on. Good afternoon, everybody. Warm welcome also from my side to this Congress. Albert already said actually almost everything that you can see on this slide about myself. I'm a tourism consultant focusing on destination development. I've worked for several companies in the last year for an IT company offering IT solutions for tourism destinations. So actually, I want to start showing you a picture that I'm not always wearing a suit when I'm working. This is me a few years ago. And of course, there is a story to this picture. I mean, you maybe see that I not look very relaxed on this picture. And then you can see that something is wrong with the vehicle that is in the background of the picture. So basically, I was assigned a few years ago to make a tourism destination strategy for a Russian region in the northern part near the polar circle, Yamal. And they sent me there on a site visit. And in February, they decided that I should not only experience the capital, but I should also go to live with the natives there in a tent, approximately 150 kilometers far away from everything, from every civilization. What they did not tell me at that moment was that February is snowstorm season, and what happened actually is that for 3 days I was trapped in this car you can see, where outside the wind was blowing with 160 kilometers per hour, and the temperature was minus 40 degrees. And they told me sometimes it lasts for 3 hours, sometimes for 1.5 weeks. That was quite an experience, and when Paul was talking a lot about experiences, yeah, that was definitely once in a lifetime experience I had maybe, or hopefully never again. So coming back to my topic about digitalization and how to use big data, of course we all know and we have heard in the presentation of Dimitrios today that we're living in an age of digital transformation. So IT solutions are definitely changing our world. And we saw a lot of pictures by Dimitrios, what will happen in the near future. We hear in the news all the time about intelligent refrigerators, about drones that will send us or replace the post service, about autonomous cars, all this kind of thing. So at one time, this is, of course, exciting. On the other side, it's also kind of frightening. But one thing is for sure that we all need to adapt to it, and there is no other way. It will definitely happen. And there will be new business models. Old business models will disappear. There will be new jobs created. Other jobs might be not done by humans anymore. But definitely also tourism destinations need to adjust to this topic. And I would like to continue with a quote. Maybe you don't know this person or don't remember her. She was actually a European Commissioner for Consumer Protection a few years ago from Bulgaria, Ms. Kuneva. And she said something very remarkable already a few years ago. I quote her, "Personal data is the new oil of the internet and the new currency of the digital world." Yeah, and we all know, I mean, it doesn't matter whether we are online or offline, a lot of data is collected. Sometimes we are aware that this data is collected, sometimes not. Sometimes the collected data is used by the companies that are collecting it, sometimes not, and just delete it. Sometimes we have control, sometimes not. Sometimes there are countries where there is quite strong data protection, in others there is not. So it's quite complicated, and now the question is how the big companies are dealing with this kind of currency and what tourism destinations can do. Of course, the global companies, they all understood that collecting data is kind of, gold mining in a way. We all know that Facebook started to be a network of friends and acquaintances to connect each other. But they soon realized that with all the data they have, there's much more they can do. Of course, not only the global players are interested in collecting data, also small and medium-sized enterprises are collecting data. In many cases, a lot of those companies have loyalty programs, they have bonus cards, where they sometimes collect data and use it, sometimes they are just trying to get repeating customers. So what about tourism? Of course, there are also the global players we all know. There is Booking, there are TripAdvisor. When I saw the presentation of David today, maybe instead of Booking, I can also use big hotel chains, international ones like Melia. They know exactly where you like to travel, when you like to travel, with whom you like to travel, if it's on business or on private. So a lot of data is collected by them. But now the important question for my presentation today, and on a local and regional destination level, who is actually generating this new currency? How? And what are they doing with it? So first of all, we need to have a look on the tools that are already there in order to collect data in a way. Whether it's data or big data, we need to think about this. Okay, a lot of destinations or tourism companies, you can subscribe for newsletters. Sometimes some data is required, sometimes only the email address you need to fill in, and then that's it basically. And what happens is that, of course, it's nice because you get a newsletter, but in the majority of the cases, a lot of unuseful information is also provided to you. Because if I'm not a golfer, I'm not interested in getting information about special offers at the golf course, or if there's a golf package or something like this. If I'm not a hiker, or if I'm a young person actually, and I get a family offer, this is something, I will have a look one time and then never again I'll look at this newsletter. So, it's not that I'm saying newsletters are not a good thing to share information, but it's not the right thing to collect data. Social media, of course, a lot of destinations and touristic companies on a local and regional level offer the opportunity to follow the destination or the company on Facebook or other social media platforms. Again, with the same effect that the company or the destination does not really know a lot about those customers or those people that sign in. They don't even know whether they are customers, whether they will become customers in the future, whether they already were in the destination for 10 or 15 times. It's quite unknown. And then, of course, in tourism, we have this kind of tourism cards or destination cards. You can maybe think that this is something quite similar to these loyalty programs and bonus cards I was just presenting at the beginning, but it's actually not, because it's more like a discount card in order to motivate people to go to a lot of different attractions, to actually spend a lot of money during the stay there. But it has nothing to do with loyalty, and it has nothing to do with data collection. Sometimes, in some cases, data are collected, in other cases not. Sometimes I know of many examples where data is collected actually, but not used at all. So we already see there are some tools out there where data is collected by local tourism companies or DMOs, but they're not the right tools, or they are not used in the way of really collecting big data or data that provides you with an advantage to better market your existing customers. So the question is how to digitalize your customers. Because the more you know about the customers that are in your destination, the better you can create marketing campaigns, the more add-ons you can sell, and of course you need an access point to communicate with these people. So during the last year working for the IT company, we identified like 5 success factors for customer digitalization on this regional destinational level. The first one is make digitalization one of your top priorities. This sounds obvious, but it's really very important to understand that this kind of process is long-term. It needs to be started, and a lot of human and financial resources are required to really get results. Just to have an online shop is not enough to have a digitalization process. So this is hard work, and it needs sufficient support by the public side or by the company board in order to have enough human and financial resources available. And one thing is for sure, in many DMOs and also in many of the local tourism companies, the job profiles will completely change within the next 5 to 10 years. Completely new profiles will appear on the market, or not on the market, but in the company, because this technology and how to deal with it, will definitely create new jobs and new job profiles. Make your tourism products online bookable. Very important thing, because this is exactly the point where you can get access to your customers. So, provocatively said, what is not online does not exist, or what you cannot say, what you cannot book and buy online does not exist. I mean, the younger generation and the future generations, they have a completely different attitude towards booking and buying things and services online. And this is a reality all the destinations and all the local destination companies need to understand and go into the direction of offering exactly what those clients and those generations need. So here you can see on this slide an example from the Swiss mountain resort of Jungfrau. They started already maybe 6 or 7 years ago thinking about what kind of products they want to have online and bookable online. So at the moment you can book like train tickets, you can book ski passes, you can book your accommodation, of course, you can book parking, you can book special events, packages. So a bunch of different activities you can already book online directly. And this is also maybe the big advantage of those kind of destinational platforms. It's not only about the accommodation. Because accommodation, okay, we have companies or platforms like Booking, where it's very convenient for a majority of the people to use it. Yeah, why should they go on each destination management organization website to make their booking? But if a destination has the advantage that it can offer a lot of different touristic products and facilities and services, and to make them all online available is definitely something where a customer might accept, to use it and not use Booking, because there is kind of like the added value. What is also very important is for many years, in many destinations, it was only possible to book hotels, and then it was hidden somewhere, not very easy to find on the website. Jungfrau, for example, let me just, yeah, it works. This is actually the starting page, and in the header, they only have like 3 different areas. Live, with live information about the region, experience and discover, where all the information is available, and plan and book. So it's very easy to get there and to book, and this is kind of like a sales promotion, so to say. And this already leads me to the kind of third success factor: convert your website into a sales channel. Yeah, if you have a look at the Ljubljana website, for example, the touristic website of Ljubljana, of the city of Ljubljana, on the first page, you already have the chance, not to book, but you're kind of, there is kind of a teaser to click on certain elements, facilities, services, or tours, and within 2 clicks, you are able to book online directly. So this is definitely something where a lot of local and regional DMOs need to go also into this direction to convert their websites into sales channels. Number 4, create a remarkable new online product. This is an example you can see on the slide from a very small mountain resort in Switzerland. It's situated close to Zurich, approximately an hour away. And they had a shop online for 1.5 years, and they did not sell anything there because they just had their standard products there. Standard products need either to be cheaper online in comparison to what you pay when you go to the ticket counter, or nobody will use it. So when we worked with them, the first thing was that we wanted to create something remarkable that will be only sold online in order to make the people to go there, to register, and to buy online. So this remarkable product, of course, differs from destination to destination, as they were very family-oriented, or they are very family-oriented. The product was a season pass where all the kids could use the ski resort for free the whole winter. But doesn't matter, it's not important what they did, but just to understand that they created something that can only be sold online or bought online. And then, of course, it's not enough to only have this remarkable product online. You somehow need to kind of make promotion, and you need to distribute the news that this kind of product exists. So what they did, of course, a lot of online promotion. They used their different social media channels to promote the product. They made some banner campaigns. They made some online campaigns. But at the same time, they also made offline campaigns. So, with billboards, fair, booths, and all these kind of things. So it's very important to understand that it's not enough to just have a remarkable product that differentiate our destination from other destination and fits, of course, to the overall image of the destination. In this case, it was family-oriented, but also to understand that this needs then promotion. And this is something completely different because we are talking about a pure online product. At the end of my presentation, I just want to give you another example from Sasfee, also in Switzerland. 3 villages, approximately 150 kilometers of slopes, 13,000 beds, and 1 million overnights. What happened there in the last 10 years, a severe decline in overnights. A lot of hotels closed. It was really kind of a bad situation for them. So you can see, on average, they lost approximately 5% every year in overnights. And then they said, around 2015, we would like, first of all, do something against this. And at the same time, we think that the only chance to survive in a certain ways to digitalize. So what they have done is, again, they created a remarkable product that completely differentiated them from all the other mountain resorts in Switzerland. Of course, it can be discussed whether a price of 222 francs, which is approximately 200 euro for a season pass, is something that is kind of tricky or bears the potential to have conflict in the industry, but doesn't matter. I mean, they created a product that was really remarkable on the market. And in order to be on the safe side, they made a crowdfunding project out of it and said, only if a certain level of tickets or seasonal passes will be sold, it is valid. And, yeah, surprise, surprise, they sold more than 80,000 season passes, yeah, only online. And, it's controversially discussed if this is like price dumping and all these kind of things, but I'm only talking about, the effect it had on collecting data. And those were the results. I mean, it's unbelievable that they increased their skier days from one year to the other by 48%. They increased the annual revenue of the roadway company by 20% in one winter, and they increased the annual overnights by 12%. Of course, a lot of money was also spent on marketing. I mean, this has, be taken into consideration. But the most important figure is this one here. 50% of their guests have been digitalized. This basically means a lot of information is available for each of them, and there is the direct contact. So they have all the information they need in order to communicate with them. This is something not a lot of destinations can say about themselves. So in the next step, this was in 2016, 2017, so this winter season, 2017, 2018, they thought about, okay, how can we use the available information and all this data? And they created new online products, of course, and exclusively sold it to those people they already know. And you know, it's always easier to market products to customers that are already loyal, that are already there, that are your customers, than just make marketing in cities, in other regions where you have no idea what kind of effect it will have and how many people will really come to your destination. So this is definitely a completely new approach on a regional level of how to digitalize your customers and make use of it. And I think this is something a lot of destinations will think about. It's not necessarily the Swiss model that needs to or can be applied in all the destinations, but there are certain patterns that are definitely very important when you want to digitalize your existing customers and benefit from it at the end. That's basically it, the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher.